Greetings. We're so excited to have you with us today. We are fortunate and blessed to have Dr. Millicent Black. She serves as the Headmaster, Chief Administrator at the Greenforest McCalep Christian Academy. Thank you so much, Dr. Black, for joining us today.
Thank you, Pastor Berry, for inviting me to be here today.
Well, Dr. Black, as you already know, your popularity poll is extremely high, not only on the campus of Greenforest, but all throughout the county. Take us back to your roots. What was life like growing up?
Well, I believe I had a textbook childhood. I was born in Birmingham, Alabama.
Birmingham.
My parents were typical middle class parents. My mom was an educator. She was a teacher in the public schools. My dad worked for the United States Steel Company.
Wow.
I have one brother.
Yes.
My grandparents on both sides of the family were very active in our lives. They lived in Birmingham, and we spent a lot of time with both sets of grandparents. So they really molded and shaped who I am today.
When you reflect on your childhood, what was an amazing experience that really helped to inspire you, that helped to motivate you to be who you are today?
Well, my mother, being a teacher,
Yes,
exposed me to a lot of opportunities. I went to in fact, she was my second grade teacher.
Wow.
And that was really a challenge because she had to be the mom at home, and then the mom at school, and then the teacher at home, and then the teacher at school. So that was a challenge. I was so glad, Pastor, when she went out on maternity leave to have my younger brother.
What are your observations about our current state of education as it relates to families? And then what advice would you give to a well-intentioned parent who wants to see their child excel?
I'm the mother of twins.
Yes.
I have a son and a daughter. And some reason I thought that when they graduated from high school that my work would be over.
Wow.
And that is not the case.
Okay.
For me, I asked very specific questions
Sure.
about what was going on in their lives and about their friends, their coursework. So just really being engaged.
What would you say to that person who is trying to excel professionally, but also do a great job at home? How are you able to strike that work-home life balance?
Well, I had a very strong support system.
Okay.
I got to a point where I was a single mother for a while.
Sure.
And during that time, I think I completed maybe 2 other degrees. Maybe, no,
Awesome.
3 other degrees,
Congratulations.
but it was really through the support of my family and my friends that I was able to do that. So it's just really a balance.
Wow.
Making sure that you set goals, you know what it is that you want to do, but making sure that your children are well cared for. And you can do that and still realize your goals if you have that good support system.
What would be your wisdom to someone who has great aspirations? Maybe they're seeing others excel around them. Maybe they're in a society where they're seeing things happen overnight. What advice would you give them as you reflect on your own journey?
Well, when I think about my professional journey, I started at 21.
Awesome.
And I taught in Alabama. I knew I wanted to do more with my career, but I learned that you need to stay in a place and stay at a pace so that you can learn and grow.
Sure.
And so I prayed and asked God to allow me to be an administrator because I wanted to be a principal. Yes. And I believe it was 5 years from the time I wrote the prayer down.
Wow.
Until it was actually a reality.
5 years.
And so I can remember one time I was having some challenges with one of the staffs that I was supervising.
Sure.
And I picked up my Bible, and there was that prayer that I had written.
Wow.
And so I knew then the Holy Spirit was telling me that I was in the right place at the right time, and that God had sent me there to do a work. And so I was able to brush off whatever the controversy was, whatever the challenges were, because I knew that I was sent there to do a job.
What were the secrets to your success dealing with all the expectations and people pulling on you all the time? How did you work through that?
Well, Pastor, the first thing I do before I leave home is I get on my knees and I pray.
Literally on your knees and pray.
On my knees and I pray. And my husband has stepped in there a couple of times and thought something was wrong.
Is that right?
Later on, I've explained to him I am actually in prayer. And so my prayer is that I am open and that I allow the Holy Spirit to work with me.
Sure.
And that I am fair and that I make the best decisions that I can possibly make for the good of all people.
So do you mind kind of share what you're doing now with your time?
Well, after 32 years of public education, I retired.
Yes.
And I decided that I was not going to do anything with school children, and I
Okay.
wasn't going to do anything with elementary school children. So I had a job as a consultant that was going very well, and I had an opportunity to do a lot of traveling. And then the Holy Spirit stepped in. I got a call, and I was asked to come back to Greenforest. And so in doing that, you know, I had to put my personal preferences to the side because I realized that this was something that I'd made an agreement with God when I
Sure.
wrote that prayer that He would allow me to be someplace where I could make a difference.
So when you talk about Greenforest, Greenforest has had a very strong presence in DeKalb County. In addition to that, it has been blessed to produce a lot of scholars and people who've gone on to do great things. But the word on the street is that there is a phenomenal basketball program
Yes.
over at Greenforest. Can you share a little bit about the athletic program or the scholastic program or what Greenforest has to offer?
Well, let me start with the athletic program. It is all about basketball for some of our families. We started out very small. However, we have grown some trees over there, if you will. You know, we've got some students who were 6 and 7 feet tall, and they have gone on to college and done some very great things. We had 2 back-to-back championships.
Sure.
And in fact, we had 3 championships within a 5-year period. So
Really?
that is a wonderful thing. But one of the things a student from Nigeria told me, he said, Dr. Black, God, books, and then basketball. And so we make certain that our students are coming for the right reason, that they understand that this is a Christian education, that they buy into the Bible lessons,
Yes.
that they also understand that it's not just about the athletics, that education is first and foremost, that you can get injured in a moment and lose that. So we want them to be well educated.
Dr. Black has inspired us to do great things. Stay focused, and I promise you the best is yet to come. Thank you again for sharing with us for Up Close with Dr. Berry.